to know each other as we will be together for the next hour or so. So let's just find out. And also for me, a bit of context would be great in terms of the sort of backgrounds that you're all from. Because what I'd really like to do is be able to really contextualize and give some real life examples of some of the things that I'm going to show you on Canva today, and maybe perhaps tailor some ideas to things that will be relevant to yourselves. That'd be fab. Hi, Daniela. Thanks for that. Oh no, thanks for letting us know about your internet. So no worries. Obviously, the recording will be available. So hopefully you don't drop out of the session. But if you do, then you'll be able to catch up. And the National Childbirth Trust. That sounds that sounds amazing. Oh, that's brilliant. And don't forget there is a live poll just happening. So if you just scroll up on the chat, just a couple of questions again, really useful for us to be able to gauge in the room some starting points so that we can sort of see what we're working with. If you've whether or not you've used Canva before, what you've used it for, and just kind of tailor it to that. Okay, Caroline, yeah, wonderful. Thank you for that. So you've used Canva, but kind of looking to level up and use it professionally for LinkedIn and other platforms. That is absolutely brilliant. And to be honest, I really do hope and I'm confident that you will find this session useful in terms of using Canva for the company, sort of getting it out there with social media, LinkedIn and other social media platforms. So that is going to be quite a nice focus for today. So that's brilliant. Thank you for sharing.
So I think we're gonna give like a few more minutes for a little like introductions and for you as a chance to answer the polls, and then we're gonna begin the session.
Okay, brilliant. So I've got a message from the name has just come up as info, for which I do apologize. I can't See a name. So ways for well-being. Okay. Um, so you've got a bit of a technical thing there, which I may be able to help you out with. So we can have a look at that. There's going to be a bit of time at the end of the session with a few an option for any Q&A or anything like that for this technical issue. I can see what's happened here when you have an educational license and it's normally under one person. You can have shared accounts, and I do get what's happened here. I may be able to help you with that, so I will definitely come back to that one if that's okay. Denisa, thank you. So business side, social media content, promotional material, pretty new in Canva. Okay, wonderful. So yeah, all of that type of good stuff is exactly what we're going to have a look at. And Nabila, thank you. Thanks for that.
Okay, so should we begin? Okay, so Shamimari is going to share her slides, and before she starts her session, we're going to play a little video about this project, which made this workshop possible. So it's a little introduction
The
to
Further
our
Education
project.
Innovation Fund is a £2.4 million regional investment driving business support and innovation across the West Midlands. Co-designed by Innovate UK and West Midlands Combined Authority, this initiative empowers SMEs to adopt new technologies and upskill their workforce through further education colleges. 3 innovation hubs have been launched in Birmingham, the Black Country and Coventry in Warwickshire, each led by a leading regional college. The Birmingham Partnership brings together 6 colleges specialising in construction, manufacturing, dental technology, engineering, artificial intelligence and cybersecurity. The Matthew Bolton campus has launched the Innovation Navigator programme, focusing on dental innovation and digital technologies for small to medium-sized enterprises and social economy organisations. In collaboration with our innovation partners, including PwC, Meta, Mish Consulting and many more, we're offering free in-person and virtual training, one-to-one business support, networking opportunities, and technology adoption plans to help you and your teams stay ahead of the curve. For more information about the Innovation Navigator, scan the QR code or visit our link to unlock your path to business success.
Okay, Geeta, do you want to add anything now, or shall I get started?
So this QR code, you can check our upcoming events because we have many more workshops coming up, and we also offer one-to-one business support, which you can also access. And I think I'll just hand it over to Shamimara to begin.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you. Thank you so much. So, like Geeta did mention, if you do have any questions or anything you want to just add in about this part, the design element, um, please just feel free to turn your mic on and chat a question. It's always nice to hear voices and see faces. But also, if you want to just drop it in the chat, there's a couple of us who are keeping an eye on the chat. I may miss it because I might be a bit engrossed in the Canva bit, but my colleagues will obviously keep an eye on the chat and just give me a little nudge. So yeah, so anything, and if I'm going too fast, please do tell me. Let me know if you want me to slow down, and also you may or may not be familiar with the captions option within Teams, which will obviously allow you to see captions if you need that caption option for you as well. So, first thing, first things first is why you're here. So, reading some of the intros, and thank you so much for sharing those in the chat, is really Canva. So, I think Canva is such a well-known name, and at college with our students as well, a lot of our students actually come to us having used Canva at school. Now, what that really shows me, and hopefully is a bit of an eye opener for you all as well, is that design and eye-catching, sort of, innovative and exciting production and materials and media, they are very much the norm. And moving with the times is so essential for all types of businesses in any context. So really giving yourselves the tools, but also mostly the confidence to be able to reach your audience, regardless of who they are, is essential. And hopefully what you're going to leave with today is knowing that we are in good company. And actually, Canva is widely used. It's obviously a massive company, and some of the features on there are just brilliant, which is what we are going to look at today. But the company that we're in are organizations like the Marriott. The whole, the group of hotels, Skyscanner, it's a brilliant app to obviously compare flights. Zoom, which is a massive, obviously, platform. We've also got organizations like FedEx, Amnesty International, Reddit. I love a scroll of Reddit when I can't sleep at night. But they're users of Canva. We've got Expedia. Um, so you can see that it's something that is instantly recognizable. So what I'm just going to do is just jump straight in, to be honest, and let's go in and have a look. So the first thing I'm going to start off with is I am already logged in to my account. Okay, now it is free to sign up to Canva, and a free account on Canva does give you a lot of features. Okay, so please don't feel that, especially if you're starting out and if you're not too sure if you want to or are able to invest financially, have a play, sign up, and have a look at what Canva, the free version, can do for you, because it can do loads. Okay, I can assure you that you're not going to feel slighted by not having a paid version or the pro version. Now, I do have a pro version, and the pro version actually for me was free. Okay, so Canva do some brilliant deals where they actually allow free pro versions for various organizations. So I have an educational pro version, and they actually provide pro versions for various other for like charitable organizations, etc. It is definitely worth having a look to see if your organization does qualify for a free pro version. They are not Canva do not gatekeep, and that's what I absolutely love about them. They really make their product available to as many people as possible, and also the fact that their free version is brilliant. So that's something I want you to all, when you get a moment, have a play around with. Once you've signed in, you will always see the icon on the top right, and you can have a look at plans and pricing and just have a play around with that. Okay, so that's the first thing. So because I am signed into my pro account, which was free, I haven't paid anything for it. I have two pro accounts. Um, one is my work email and one is my team email and all sorts of things. The team email one means that anyone in my team can log in to the team account, and we have like shared resources on there. And then the other one is mine. So it doesn't matter which one I'm using today. I'm just going to use my one only because I've had this for a bit longer. So there's a bit more content on there. Okay, so that's your basic sort of like introduction to accounts, and it's just simple canva.com. It's web-based. There is an application that you can download for Apple and Android. You can actually design on mobile devices. I've made a poster once on my iPhone, and it was brilliant. I was bored. I was in bed. I made a poster on Canva using the app on my iPhone, and it was one of my best posters, to be honest. So really dynamic, really useful. You can kind of use it on the go. You can start a project and finish it off later, all sorts of things. There is also a desktop application which is available to download onto Windows. I'm not sure if it's available for Mac, but it's definitely free to download and install on a Windows machine. And the desktop version looks pretty much the same as this online version. I'm of course on the online version, as you can see my web browser with the URL. My personal advice to you is that the online version with the AI capabilities is a bit more up to date, a bit more dynamic. Being online, it's got, your internet access is depending on your internet access, but it's a bit more dynamic. But do you know what? Feel free to install the Canva application if you can. I'll drop the link to do that in the chat later on, and you can have a play with that as well. So I've logged into my Canva account, and I can always go back to the home page using the home icon. So let's familiarize ourselves with the user interface as you log in. So as you can see, these are my recent designs. This is the video that you just watched. I made that in Canva, and it didn't take me very long at all. You may have seen this video as well, and I think that went on Eventbrite, I believe, or it was made available for anyone who was interested in watching that. Again, I made that. Well, I say I made that. I'm giving myself far too much credit. Canva made that for me. This one I knocked up using the AI feature, which I'm gonna focus on quite a bit today. All sorts of things. So we've got all of these recent designs. Now, the main thing you're going to do, and I'm going to show you two facets of Canva. You've got your creator design element here. Now, that part, if you're going to go in and create a design, is very much creating something from scratch. And you may or may not have a design flair or an artistic flair. And even if you don't, just give it a go. You never know what you might discover about yourself. You might fall in love with the idea of design and, color and color theory and all of those things that really, really matter when you want to capture an audience for your product. Okay, things like color and contrast, text, types of text, font, whether or not the font is digitally accessible for people with people who are neurodiverse. So thinking about color, font, text, and pairing that with neurodiversity is really, really important. But what Canva does is with its templates and with its pre-made designs, it takes that work out for you. So, not to say it's not important to learn, of course, it absolutely is, but sometimes, especially if you're a beginner, kind of letting Canva do the work for you, and then over time, you start to learn about those elements and making sure that your product is digitally accessible to all, okay, regardless of their needs and requirements. And that's one really, really important thing. If you're going to put something out there on social media and it's representative of your organization, just making sure it's inclusive. Now, when you click on the Create a Design tab, it very much allows you to either start from scratch. You can have a completely blank canvas, which you can completely customize and make your own, if that's what you want to do. If you're starting off, well then you will see millions and millions of templates and options to get you started, which are all 100% customizable. So if you pick something and you think, oh, I'm not sure about the color, you can change the color but leave the rest. So that's what we're going to look at now. Now, the first thing you're going to do is it's asking you, what is it that you would like to create? Now, if you don't know, because sometimes you don't know what you don't know, that's absolutely fine as well, because it gives you some options of what it is that you think you might want to create. And you may not get this correct on the first instance, particularly if you are creating something for social media. Now, bear in mind, different social media platforms have obviously different views and different resolutions. So, for example, you may have a post for LinkedIn, which is very different to a reel for Instagram, which is quite different to a banner for Facebook. And all of those things do have different resolutions to make sure that it's optimized appropriately for your audience based on the device that they're viewing it on. So Instagram, for example, and LinkedIn are more than likely used on smartphones, as well as Facebook, but sometimes Facebook is, equally accessed on desktops and things like that. So it's thinking about all of those things, but don't let it scare you. Don't let it sound overcomplicated, because this does all the work for you. So, for example, if I wanted to create a poster, so I'm going to start nice and easy. I want to create a poster which I'm going to physically print out and distribute in the college where I work, just a poster letting students know about an event that's going to happen. So you've obviously got loads of other options. And again, this is something to play around with. Folded card is a really nice one because it takes all the work out for you. I don't know if any of you remember this Desktop Publisher, which was a Microsoft program back in the day, which would allow you to make like folded leaflets and things like that. I think I'm giving my age away now, so I'm gonna stop talking. But let's go ahead and make a poster. So I'll just click that. That has opened on the same tab, as you can see. So if you just want to go back to the home page, once this disappears, you can just click back. So it hasn't opened in a new tab. Okay, so it's asking me, do I want to open this in the Canva app, which I have installed, but I don't want to. So I'm going to click no thanks because I'm going to stay on the web-based version for consistency for the session. So as you can see, like I said, it's a blank canvas. Now don't let that hinder you. With this blank canvas, if I just click on here, okay, it's taken away all those suggestions that were there at the start. Now, if you decide actually you need a bit of help, you need a bit of inspo, you can click on design, which is the first icon on the left-hand side in the menu bar, and it will give you, it's giving me things based on nothing really. Because I said poster, and I don't know if this is listening, but we all know programs are always listening all the time. It's giving me a lot of student-based content. That's not because it's listening to me. That's because it knows my previous activity on my account has been very educational based. So it is, you know, the AI and the learning means that it knows and also it knows from my account. It's an ac.uk account. So it knows that I work in an educational establishment. So look how smart it is. It's going to suggest things like International Student Day and schools admission, and it's all very geared to that. So the more you use it, the more it learns to tailor itself to you, your organization, and your needs. So like I said, here I can use the design, but also if I can't find what I want, I'm going to go ahead and type in there. So a few weeks ago, I made this poster for a chess tournament that I started at the college. I play a bit of chess, and I thought it would be nice to pay it forward and teach students how to play chess as well. I'm no grandmaster, but I can play. I have never won a chess game in my life, but I know the rules, and I think that's all that matters. So if I was to type in here, chess club, which is probably what I did type in, there you go. It's given me all of these options. And in fact, I think I went with this one where my cursor is and I just changed the color. So again, you can literally type in. If anyone's got any suggestions, you can go ahead and type in the chat. I've got multiple screens, so I can see the chat. But if there was a poster that you needed for a for something that's fun around fundraising, that's very broad, but it's given, you know, all sorts of ideas. So some are animated, some are, you know, photographs, some are text only. It's limitless. You can keep scrolling for hours and hours and it will keep giving you ideas. Okay. Once you've found a template that you like, you can go ahead and click on it. So let's just go with the first one that's come up, and it will transfer onto your workspace here. Now it gives you information on who was the originator of this product. Anything that is available on Canva as a template, this person has agreed to share. But you can also go and have a look at their other work as well. So if you find that you like the aesthetic of this person and their work, you can go ahead and click and see what else that they've added. So it's a nice community feel as well. And you can, of course, submit your work. If you make a template and you really love it and you want to share it, you can go ahead and do that as well. So what I'm just going to do is just show you how to manipulate anything that you already have on your workspace. And a lot of it is it's just so intuitive. So here, as you can see, when I hover over each of these elements, it gives me a box. So anywhere where a box appears around the text or the image means that I can edit that and I can customize and change it according to my needs. So for example, we have here the name of the organization for this template. So if I just give that a double click, that's highlighted that, and then I can just I can change that and make that my own. Okay, so if I just change that to BMAC College, this logo, again, I can click on the logo, a square has come up. Anytime a square comes up, you will see some additional options here at the top. So one of the first things that I would do is edit. So you've got the edit option just above. So again, I'll just repeat that. When I click on the image, it gives me an edit option because I would change that logo and I would change it to something that's probably more appropriate, or it would be my college logo. Um, and to upload a college logo, I'll come to that because if you have a look, there is an upload button here. So your organization logo can go on the product as well, but I'm kind of working down the column, so I'll come to that in a little while. But hopefully you sort of get the gist of this. Again, you play around with Canva, you kind of see what it can and can't do, and I promise you can't break anything here. Anything that you do, you can just undo it. Okay, you can just undo it. You can just press the back button and it will undo it. You can press Control and Z on your keyboard. So you've got the control button on your, if you've got a standard keyboard, the control button on the bottom left of your keyboard, and press the letter Z at the same time. And that will undo anything that you have done. That should, yep, there you go. So I'm pressing Control Z repeatedly, and if you can see on my screen, that's reverted back to what it was. But you've also got these undo and redo buttons as well. So you've got your Control Z, that's just a keyboard shortcut which I use to make things quicker. But you've got your undo and your redo. So, you know, nothing can go wrong. Um, Another little thing I think would be quite nice is, as you can see, when I click on the whole thing, depending on where I click, I get different edit options. Now, because as you can see, the purple square is around the entire poster. So what it can do here is a little bit different to when I click on a box. Okay, so here, for example, I can edit and change the graphic. So let me go ahead and do that. I'm going to click on edit, and you've got a few things. Now, some things are grayed out, you've got a no entry sign. That means that feature is not available on that particular image for whatever reason. So for example, this button here is a background remover. I can't use a background remover on this image, which is the heart with the hands in, because there's not necessarily a background on it. So it doesn't let me do that. So there are a few things. So the whole of the Magic Studio is not available for this particular image because it's not suited to the way it's been coded. However, what I can do is change that and just make it look a little bit different. I've got a few options here, etc. Again, you click on something, you click on edit, you play around with it, and just kind of see where it takes you. And if you're not happy with it, click undo. Another few things again is where you've got the background remover. So of course I've got to mention the background remover is a pro feature as well. Anywhere where you see this crown image means that it's a pro feature. Now, although I do have a pro account, it's still not a paid pro account. So there is a little discrepancy between a free pro account, which is my educational pro account, and an absolute pro account, which you have to pay for. And please do have a look at the prices and see if it's suited to you. But the absolutely pro account, will allow you to remove the background and things like that. In all my years using Canva, I've never needed to remove a background for anything because I've just chose a template where I was happy with the background sort of thing. So it's just a bit of a, I'm not trying to take sales away from Canva, but it's just a bit of a heads up for you there. Various other things as well. So, you can look at the border style and look at the thickness and round the corners. You can crop things. You can flip things around vertically, horizontally, all sorts of things you can do. There you go. And I can just put it back to how it was. You've got various levels of transparency. So that's quite a nice design feature where you've got overlapping images. You can make something more transparent than others. You've got something called animation. This wouldn't work with a poster, but it would work with something that's a post on social media. You can allow things to appearing. So it's more for presentations and videos, where, you know, when you click something, it will appear. There you go. It says appear on click. So when you click on the poster, that appears, and it's a bit like PowerPoint where you can click things and they will appear in different orders. But we're actually going to come to that later when we look at presentation. So I'm not going to go, so that's it. I think I'm going to leave it at that in terms of this poster. What I've given you is an example of how to create a really, really simple poster. You can pick design, you can search for a theme, let's say sailing, and it'll give you anything you could possibly need. Even if I just typed in cupcakes, I'm literally going with random words now, it's going to give you a design. So I'd be very, very surprised if there's something that, if you don't find something that you like or suits your needs. Okay, so does anyone have any questions about this part before I move on to something else now?
Ama çok iyi kart bakmaları lazım. Tüm düzayda evlerinde açıkçası.
Okay, so I'm just going to move on, but again, feel free to just shout out or drop something in the chat if you do have any questions. And if I miss anything, I've got Gita and Marika to kind of like give me a little nudge. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to the home page, and what I really want to draw your attention to today is the AI element of Canva. So artificial intelligence is here. It's here to stay. It's controversial. It's got fans, or it's got enemies, but we can just always make the most of it. And yes, AI can be used for harm. I'm not going to get into an ethical debate about AI, but in terms of the way AI works in Canva is, honestly, it just makes your life so easy. It will literally do what you tell it to do. So let's have a look. Now, where I've got my menu on the left-hand side here, I've got something called Dreamlab. Now, this bit here basically allows you to create something from scratch, but it's going to create it for you based on the ideas that you have in your mind. Now, when you use the Dreamlab with my free pro account, there is a limit. It's not an infinite feature, unfortunately. It gives you 500 credits, so all accounts come with 500 credits, and you can use those credits to obviously create things, and then you'll have to purchase additional credits when that runs out. But with Dreamlab, you can describe something that you want to portray, type that in, and it will give you the more description you give, the better the result will be. So I know it says a few words, but my advice is be as detailed as you possibly can for it to give you what you want. Okay, so I'm just going to pause there and just have a look at the message from Nabila. It's not just about the designs. Oh, okay. So I think, yeah, so Nabila, I think with this session, what I'm looking at today is very much about design. I think with your question is quite technical, and I don't particularly work for Canva, which means my advice to you is to contact Canva to talk about your account issues, because that sounds a lot more to do with things that aren't showing and things that you don't have access to. But I would say that there is a nice and easy way to get in contact with Canva. Actually, you can, I think it comes under plans and pricing. Sorry, I have digressed a little bit, but I don't want you to think that I can't help you. But there is a feature, and I will pop that in the chat later when I find it. There is a feature to contact them, and you can actually book in a slot with them to have a meeting with them. They are based in the US, but they send you a link to their calendar, and you can have a look at booking some time in with them to be able to help you with that issue. But unfortunately, I can't do that for you, because like I said, it's more Canva based and account based rather than me just showing people how to kind of make a design. So I do apologize for that. But going back to Dreamlab again, so if I was to, now what I have in my mind is I want to create a post. Now, one thing, do bear this in mind, the AI images that are generated, most likely you will go ahead and use that for your media. Now, for me, the novelty of this did wear off quite quickly. It was so good to play with at first, and I really loved it and looking at all of the things that it came with. But what I always found myself going back to was good old templates. So this is why I'm not gonna demo the Dream Lab to you now because it's something that's very individual. You're gonna play around with it. You might love it, you might hate it. I found myself always going back to templates because that's what I need. And time restrictions and deadlines and all of those things mean that playing around with Dreamlab is fantastic. But actually, when my line managers ask me to create this and I've got 2 days, I'm gonna go onto templates because it's the most efficient way of getting something done. So that's the third option down on the left hand side. And I'm going to go to marketing because I need a template. And that template is I need what shall we do? Oh, a menu or a newsletter? I need a newsletter. Okay, so my organization wants to send out newsletters, kind of updating my clients around what we've been up to lately. So I'm going to go ahead and click on newsletters. I can create a blank, but I would never do that because why would I when I have so many fantastic newsletters that are created for me that I can completely curate? And when you go into any of these, it will be the same principle as what I demoed with the poster. You can change the colors, the text, the font, the images, all sorts of things. So let's go ahead with this newsletter. So I'm always drawn to um, colors, but also quite clean lines. I quite like this one. Okay, now it does give you an option to use their printing service as well. So you can go ahead and do that if you like. I've never dabbled into that because at my workplace we can get stuff printed, but you can also go for a printing option. But let's go ahead and customize the template, and it's going to be the same principle. I'm going to stay in the online version. And if you like, you've got your whole branding kits again. Your branding and all of those things do come with a pro account, where you would set up your templates and your branding colors, images, logos, and all those sorts of things. I don't actually have a brand kit set up because we don't use Canva in. I don't use Canva in that capacity. Our marketing team do, so that doesn't apply to me. But again, look, same principle. You can click on anything here, you can edit, and you can customize that according to what it is that you want to put in your newsletter. But here, because it's not a poster, you may have multiple pages to your newsletter. You would then click on add page. So you're not limited to just one A4 piece of paper. Go ahead and click add page. And here you've got a blank page, but actually if you wanted a page that looks the same, you can go ahead and duplicate the page, which is the option here, if you can see where my cursor is. If I duplicate the page, I've got the same sort of like vibe going on, but this time I'm going to edit that. Because if you add a page, it just gives you a blank page, which takes you back to square one, and I don't ever want to do that. So I'm going to delete this blank page just by clicking on the little bin trash icon. Okay, and a few of these icons here. You have a lock icon, which only allows you to it basically locks things so other people can't edit things. When I say other people, you can give your colleagues access to your design. So where it says here, you've got my face and then a plus sign. I can actually invite people who are also in my team from Canva, or just send them an email and give them access to. So it's really great for collaborative working as well. I can give them access to that. So that's how you would go about working on a newsletter. Again, like I've said so many times, and I'm going to keep saying with Canva, play around with it. Okay, have a play, see what you like, see what works, see what doesn't. Nothing will go wrong and nothing will break. There is no save button. Everything auto saves every few seconds. So you just let it do its own thing, and you can always retrieve your work from your recent projects when you log in. Okay, so you can work on something, forget about it, come back, and it'll be exactly as you left it. You don't have to press save. You can close the browser. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and do that. Close the browser, and actually when I go into Canva next, when I go to projects, it's there because I looked at it. I've got 2 pages, one of two, and accidentally closed it, had a power cut, laptop died, whatever. The next time I log in, I can just go ahead and pick up where I left off. Okay, so that's the beauty of it. You don't even have to worry about it too much. It just looks after itself. It's like a cat. It just looks after itself. Just gotta feed it a little bit, and that's it. It's not that interested in you at my case anyway. So those are the main things. Now, one of the last things I'm going to show you is this apps bit, which is my absolute favorite. Now, Canva allows add-ins of external applications, and one of my favorite apps is one that I'm going to show you. So I like to use Canva for creating videos. With marketing, with kind of getting products out, video, especially short videos, is key. Okay. Now, if you have it doesn't really matter about the age of your audience, but a younger audiences prefer short videos. I mean, very, very short videos. We're talking instant gratification. We're talking TikTok videos. We're talking Instagram reels. If it's not piqued their interest within 4 seconds, you can forget about it. Um, so therefore, quick, short videos that are punchy, that are impactful, Canva will do that for you. Now, don't worry if that's not your forte. You may not have much experience in video creation. It will do it for you. But kind of bearing those things in mind when you are using Canva for your organization, is don't let it hold you back. If you don't have that much experience in video creation, it won't matter, because firstly, it will do a lot of the work for you, and secondly, the more you work on it, the more you get to learn about the industry as well, and that space in the marketing world. So I've clicked on the apps icon from the menu, and there are all sorts of apps that you can do. You can filter. Now, my favorite is the second option, which is the AI powered. Now, one of the apps which is an absolute go-to for me is this one. It's called Voice Studio. Okay, if you don't see it when you go in, you can search it here where my cursor is. You can search for various apps. But the Voice Studio app allows you to put a voiceover on a video that you have created, and that stops you from having to do a voiceover. Now, when I made a short video about the session, I actually did use my own voice, so I do apologize for the slight Brummy accent. But I did use my own voice only because I wanted to put a personal touch to it, and I completely understand not everyone's comfortable with that. This Voice Studio app allows you to um, have an AI generated voice. Now, they do sound quite robotic, so you may or may not like it, but actually, in some contexts, it is useful. So let's go ahead. So what I did was clicked on the apps icon on the left, found this Voice Studio, but that's because I've used it already. If you can't see it on your list, you can search for it here. It's just called Voice Studio. Murph AI is another one as well, but I've just used this one. Now it's asking me, do I want to use this application in an existing design or in a new design? I'm going to use it in an existing design because I've already made my video. I'm going to put the voiceover in now. Okay, so it's asking me, okay, where's your design? My design is in my projects, and my design is this video here, which I believe was shared on Eventbrite. So let's go ahead and do that. Now, what you see here is a timeline. This timeline, and is a very, very simple timeline. If any of you have ever used Adobe Premiere Pro, it's nothing like that. This timeline is so easy to navigate. It's so simple. The video that I made, I used 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 slides, create a video, press play, it did it for me. Now have a look on the left-hand side. It's got a options for various voice settings. So I have got Ava, Emma, or Andrew. Speaking in English, United States accent, and I can pick any of these. Now, I believe I'm still sharing my sound, so if I play this, it should play to you all.
Yes, it is a big achievement to be accepted into the Microsoft startup programs.
So, did you all hear that? Oh, Geeta, could you hear that? Yeah, brilliant. So you can preview the voice, obviously, before you put it in. You've got voice settings. You can look at the speed, the speaking style, the script source I'll come to. Now, you can click on see all next to voices. And here, so this is telling me they've got 94 voices, which is a decent amount. These are all United States accents, aren't they? They are. Right, it's something that's not personally bothered me before, but if that doesn't suit you, then is that all 94? Then I would say have a look at, this isn't the only AI voice generator app. There's hundreds. So maybe have a look if you want more of if you want a different accent. If you want a British accent, then you can look for an app that has a British accent. But the point is, it's just so easy to do that. But if I just go with Ava, okay. So I've chosen that. I'm happy with the speed. I'm happy with the speaking style. Now my script. So I've actually, this Blue Peter, here's one I've done earlier. I actually have already inserted this. So I'm going to play this for you now, and then I'm going to show you how I did it for the next slide. So if I press play,
I made this video all by myself.
okay, yes, it sounds robotic, but for demonstration purposes, that's basically how I did that. Now, what I'm going to do is for the next slide, it says, and I'm not a graphic designer. So all you have to do is put the text into here, what they refer to as a script, because like a voice artist, they're going to just read out what's on the script. So if I just now the grammar and things like shouldn't matter too much because it's just going to read it out, but I do like to make sure that all the grammar is correct for the certain nuances in speech, commas and full stops. It does pick those things up, so it does make it a bit more natural. Okay, so then I've put that in. I've put my timeline onto the slide where I want it. Okay, then I'm going to generate voice. Okay, so yep, and then I did that, so you can see that blue, that wasn't there before, that blue audio file. So if I press play now,
And I'm not a graphic designer.
okay, so it's kind of put that little nuance in, and that is literally how easy it is to add voice into your videos without having to do a manual voiceover yourself. Okay, so you just keep doing that. You keep regenerating, and that's essentially how easy it is. So other apps are available. You don't have to use Voice Studio. It's just my go-to. But again, play around, find something that you like. I've just read Marika's comment about my accent. Play around with it, find what you like, and you will very quickly find that there are things that you like and things that you kind of just gravitate towards. And it's such a personal thing, which is why in this session, I'm not kind of dictating too much about how to use Canva, because it's just so personal. It's down to personal preference, but it's also down to you, your organization, your needs, your target audience, what works for them. So all of those things are going to come into play when you use Canva to create your LinkedIn posts or your Instagram posts, or your promotional videos, creating awareness, your educational videos, all of those sorts of things. It is going to be very, very unique to yourself. If I now, so does anyone have any questions around the apps? The only thing is, what I've shown you around the apps, if I just go back to my so I'm going back to my other tab, if you can see that's open there. That was just an example of like AI powered apps, which is Voice Studio. You can add music. So, a little jaunty soundtrack on the back of the video. That's always great for marketing with captions to make sure that's accessible. You can create a brand logo. You've got something called a logo maker app. I've not played around with that because I work for an organization that already has a logo, but look, the options there. You've got, there are just so many, I can't even go through all of them. Definitely have a look. You've got a QR code creator app. You might want to insert a QR code in your product as well. That leads to your audience being able to answer a few questions for a survey. All sorts of things. So that is definitely an option for you. If there's anything that Canva can't do, they will have a application add-in that will kind of level up your design for you. So that's only the AI powered apps. You've got lots of other apps as well. You've got productivity apps and design apps. This Instagram add-in is really interesting for organizations. What it allows you to do is seamlessly integrate. If you've got an Instagram account, you can seamlessly integrate your Instagram content, and you pull that in to create a video or a poster or a leaflet or a flyer, which takes the content from your Instagram, so you actually don't have to manually move things around. So I'm just going to very quickly show you this. So let's say your Instagram photos live in Canva. Okay, so what this app does, it adds your Instagram content to your design. So let's use it in an existing design again. I'm just going to use the same project. Now, what it does need you to do is connect your Instagram account. So you're going to sign into your organization's Instagram account. And then from this point, because I don't have an organizational Instagram account, I'm not going to do that now. But when you connect it, what you will see on the left-hand side is your Instagram content, which you can just pull in. So you might have some fab images and content on your Instagram, which you can then just pull in and super quickly make a video within 10 minutes based on the content and the photos that you have on your Insta account. So again, a really nice way to seamlessly bring together different medium and different media and just kind of make it into one, and Canva just makes that so easy for you. So that's another example of an application within Canva. So let's close that. So again, look, just have a look, have a play around, and see how you get on with it. Now the final thing I'm going to finish off with before we move to Q&A, and I'm conscious I have just sort of like bombarded and really kind of just sped through, but I hope you do appreciate it. Is it's an introduction, but Canva is one of those things you learn as you go along. Every time I log into Canva, I find a new feature, and that just shows how dynamic, how up to date, and how modern it is. They're always updating their content, and they're always moving with the times and making things more and more accessible for their users. But the thing I did want to go back to is back to the home page, and just ensuring that the focus is not always just on marketing. You can use Canva internally within your organization to create presentations, to create PowerPoints, to create various documents. So as you can see here, all of the options, and if I just click on more, you've got all of these options to create various things to just to make your work life a bit more dynamic as well. You've got things like infographics, so where you are presenting data and stats and things like that internally, and I'm sure a lot of that does happen. You can go ahead and use their templates for that. You've got various things like proposals, a desktop wallpaper, and if you're a small business and you want to deploy a desktop wallpaper for your staff and your colleagues, um, you can just use Canva to create something, and then everyone's, you know, a bit like our backgrounds that we've got on here. It's got that corporate branding, it's got that professionalism. You know, it looks really slick, and you know, you don't need that experience in design because it'll do that for you. You've got virtual backgrounds, you know, for Zoom, but whatever background you create, you can use it in Teams as well. So please don't feel that Canva is purely for the, you know, the design people or the techie people to kind of create stuff to put out there. It's not just that, even for yourselves. And in fact, I've used Canva personally to create a wedding invitation. You know, my cousin was getting married. I used it to create a little invitation, which was then sent out via WhatsApp, and there's all sorts of little things. And I know, I think it was Caroline who said that, you know, you've used Canva personally. So that's something that you can have a think about how you can use it in all sorts of ways. So that's my main piece of advice, and I would say my main takeaway for you is that the more you log on, the regularly you log on and make a habit of exploring it, the more you will find it can do so much for you. It can do absolutely everything for you. You know, you can, and I've just seen this now, you can create name tags. You know, you might have a little event with external people coming. You can do all sorts of obviously videos. But what's important with this, where my cursor is now, is that if you are going to create things for social media, then using Canva allows you to create what it is that you want to, and then you deploy it straight away, because the the template it will give you will be suited to the resolution. So for example, a LinkedIn video ad has a different resolution to a TikTok story. If you don't use the correct one, it won't appear correctly, and you know your audience, it won't reach your audience in the right way. So just kind of making sure that, you know, you make the most of this, does the work for you. If I want something for TikTok, I'm going to use the TikTok story a template because it's done all the resolution for me. Oh, what did I click there? I don't know what I clicked there, but it doesn't matter because I can always just go back to home. And again, see, that's how easy it is. Like, you know, you just click something, it doesn't matter, just go back to the home page. Okay, so I would say, from an overview perspective in terms of design, that's essentially the bare bones of what Canva can and can't do. What I've really tried to show you all today is the way that it really is in tune with your needs, the way things can be edited completely. Um, you can manipulate whatever template you use, you can manipulate it to however it is that you want to use it. But also we do have some templates um, for you. So Geeta, do you want to come into this bit, and I'll share the link. I'll share the slide again where we've got the hyperlinks.
Yes. So our graphic design students have created some brilliant templates that you can take to your organization and use it, and use that for whatever you want. Like there's like Facebook banners, LinkedIn banners, Instagram posts, leaflets, and all these different things. We even created brand guidelines to explain how to use these, and I will share the links as well in the chat. And we also had like a little like favor to ask from our students. If you do use any of these templates, could you let us know so we could share that with the students, and so we could add it to their portfolios and just their CVs. And I think it's just nice for them to see as well that the work that they created is being used by various different organizations. So I will include that links here as well in the chat. Just waiting for it to load.
The brand guideline is really good because it
Yeah,
gives you so much insight around branding. That I don't have a marketing background. When I read it and I just saw, you know, all these guidelines about, you know, the thickness of the line and the color and what goes with
yeah,
what, it's really brilliant. So I'll definitely have a look at that.
yeah. We've done like a brilliant job with this, and yeah, and we are very proud of them, and that's why we would like to see, you know, if you use any of them and the outcomes of it as well. Um, because yeah, we worked hard for it and we've done like a brilliant job. I will also share the links as well for these templates like next day as well, so you would just have access in case you missed this and didn't save it. So yes, so please use them.
Okay, yeah, so like Geeta said, all of the links are there in the chat. Are we sharing this slide as well? Because it's hyperlinked. I don't know if my audience can actually click on the hyperlinks. I've not shared it correctly, I don't think,
Yeah.
but it's
I
fine.
did add the links in the chat as well,
Fine.
so yeah,
Yeah.
so people can access them. Yeah.
Yeah, brilliant. So it's just over to you now. So if there's anything, is there anything major that I missed in the chat? I know you both were really kind and answered things.
Before we move to the Q&A, I also wanted to ask if you could share the QR code for the feedback form.
Yeah.
So if you can just scan the QR code and give us like a little feedback on today's event, so we could improve for our events moving forward as well. And this should take like just a minute. It's a very quick one. And then yeah, we can move to the Q&A section. So we're just gonna give you like a minute for that.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna scroll through the chat to see if there's anything major that I missed. But I can see Marika, you've been really kind and just sort of dealing with everything. So I don't know. There's nothing I missed. I don't think.
There are a few questions in the Q&A. So if we move over to the Q&A, we've got some questions around a question from Zoe around how do you create a shareable Canva template, and another question was how do I resize my Canva designs?
Okay. So with the feedback form, I'm going to take this off for a minute. So if you haven't scanned the QR code already, if you just go ahead and do that. So any smartphone should be able to do that.
I will share the link in the chat as well,
Brilliant.
just in case that's easier.
Yeah, brilliant. Okay. So let's first, how do you create a shareable Canva template? Right. Okay. So if I was to, let's say I wanted to show, oh, let's find something that's actually mine. Okay. Oh, let's go to my chess club. That's it. Now I didn't make this from scratch. I actually used one of the templates, but I changed the color and obviously I changed the text. And this is actually not even complete because I did put a little message here and I did put a little photograph here. Now, the share button, actually, that's a brilliant question because I just realized this is a massive bit that I actually missed out. So I do apologize to all of you on the call. This is now going to turn into another bit. So thank you so much, Zoe, for bringing that up. What do you do with your design once you've done it? So your share options are obviously key. Now, with Canva being a collaborative platform, you can share your work. So if I just, so I clicked on the share button, which is in the top right corner, if you can see where my cursor is. Now, firstly, what you can do is allow people to have access to your design. So you may be working in a team, you may want to like input various things. Different people might want to add different bits. You can add people to your group. Now, this would only work if they have a Canva account as well. So it kind of works like its own little Canva gang, little Canva bubble where you would add people from your sort of like Canva organization. And now because I don't actually share my account with anyone, and I don't think anything will come up when I type it here, but your colleagues who also are in there, they'll be able to have access to your design and be able to share that. So that's essentially how that works. And then whenever you've added people, different circles will appear with their initials or their photograph, depending if they've uploaded a photograph. So they will only have access to that design, not to everything in your projects, because that's what you've given them access to. But you can also give someone access outside of Canva as well. So for example, anyone can access, so this one here, okay, where it says collaboration link, if you can see where my cursor is, when I click on the drop down, it says anyone with the link. So anyone can access the design using this link. Okay, so that has now changed that a little bit, and it can allow people to view only, leave comments, or edit. Okay, now this comments bit is quite useful, particularly if you've made something and it needs approval from someone else, then you can give them comment rights, and when they go into the design, it will allow them to put little speech bubbles, and just say, oh, look at the font or the size or the colors and that kind of thing. They can give you that feedback, and it's quite dynamic. It's collaborative. It really cuts out the need to have a Teams chat or emails and things like that, because you can just go into the design. I mean, there's nothing wrong with Teams chats and emails, but sometimes, you can just go back in. You can see what annotations have been made on that design, and you can make those changes according to what needs to happen. So all you have to do there is click on anyone with the link, change the comment, and then you click on copy link. Okay, it will copy something to your clipboard, and you can just go ahead and paste that. So that will just come up as that just comes up as a link. I'm just gonna just show you. It just comes up as a link. Okay, so I've just pressed Control and V on my keyboard, and then you can just share that with the person, however it is that you want to share it with. So it does look inconspicuous because it just says link to clipboard. You might think, what clipboard? Where's the clipboard? But it's actually saved. It's going to be the last thing that's saved that you can paste. So you can either right click and paste. It won't work on here because I'm not in Word or anything. So you can either right click and paste, or just Control and V, and that'll do that for you. Okay, so again, the sharing your Canva templates. So here, the bottom options here are all of the ways that you can manipulate and what you can do with your finished product. So you can either download it. You can download it as a PNG or a JPEG or various other image styles. So the file type, they suggest PNG, stick with PNG. It's the most user-friendly file type. But you've got PDF, all sorts of things. So, PowerPoint even. A video can be transformed into a PowerPoint. So you've got that where you've got your file type. So where I clicked download, firstly, it's going to ask you what is your file type. Now this is an image, so I'm going to leave it as an image. You do have some pro options, but I've never had to mess around with these at all. In fact, this particular poster, which I did have printed, all I did was leave it as PNG, then I downloaded it and it saved as my downloads, and all I did was send it to the printing department at my organization. And the reason why I'm rustling around is because I want to show you how it came back. And it came back like this, and I've got the background that's impeding me. Oh, that's not going to work. There you go. It just came back like this. So I didn't need any of those pro features for me to give me the product that I wanted. Which is going back to what I said at the start. The pro paid account is fab. But for certain things, it still does what you need it to do on a free account. So all I did was click download, send the file as an email attachment, and they sent me this back. Okay, so that's your download option. You've got a few other options there as well, but you've also got the see all. So the thing with Canva is there are so many options all the time. Like, there's just so much you can do with it, which makes sessions like this, quite not difficult, but I couldn't possibly show you absolutely everything because there's just so much, which is why I keep reiterating, just go on and have a play with it. Because where you've got the see all option, you then have, I mean, look at all of this. There's so much you can do. You can share it via Google Classrooms, via Teams, via WhatsApp, via iMessage. So if you're on a Mac, for example, you can send a design directly. You can make a little animated poster for Happy Holidays, and you're on your Mac and you've got your contacts. or your clients, your customers, your whoever it is that you want to send it to, send them a little iMessage. Um, just to kind of get yourself out there. You can post directly. You can integrate it with PowerPoint and OneDrive. Got all sorts of things. Now with sharing your template with Canva, they will have to approve it first. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find and post the link with the instructions to do that, because as you can imagine, they do have to vet what gets submitted. Um, but if you want to just share it within yourselves, then those are your share options. I would say just go ahead and share it, and then that person, whoever you share it with, can download or use that. But if you want to share something with Canva, they do have to vet it first before they allow you to be able to put it on and let other people access it. Because as you can imagine, if they didn't screen what was happening or screen what was being sent, there'll be all sorts of things available to download as templates. But there is information on how to do that if you want to go ahead and do that. Okay, in terms of resizing Canva designs, so you do have the resize option, as you can see where my cursor is. It is a pro version. I've never used it, and the only reason why I've never used it is because when I started my project, I always made sure, and this is because I always when I do something, I like to just do it and finish it and download it and it's done. Um, so made sure that I've always gone into the right template to start off with. Believe me, it makes your life so much easier to start off with the right size, with the right resolution. But also the fact that it's a pro option, and I think on my account this is not even available. I think, oh no, it is, because no, it's not available, because I don't have a paid account. Um, but it is very easy to do. If you want to resize a design, you'll always see that option there when you go into your design in edit mode. So I'm in edit mode, but if I click away onto a blank space, I've got my resize option. Then I can either a custom size, whatever size you want, or you can go to the seal for the suggested, what it is that you want, what is it you want it to appear on. You go with that. Ah, no, it does. Okay, I was wrong. It does let me do it. So I had to select it first. So actually, if I wanted to resize this rather than an A4 poster, because I originally did it as an A4 poster, which is why it came back as a lovely A4 poster. If I actually wanted to do this as an Instagram post and put it on the BMet Instagram as marketing to do it, I could go ahead and do that. And that will resize it to fit the resolution of a smartphone screen, and there you go, and it's done that. So it's this one, it's the second one here, and then I can go ahead and share that with my marketing team or whoever it is that needs the raw file, and that's change things, squash things, and change the resolution to make it suitable for that. And I believe that should have answered the question. Okay, is there anything else, Marika, I need to address?
No, that's all the questions. If there's anyone else that has a question, or you can unmute your mic, feel free to do so. We got someone typing here, so we might have another question coming up soon. So could you show, please, how to create a bulk post?
Oh, you're testing me now. So by bulk post, would that can I have a bit more context for that? As in something that you create in advance and then release periodically? So much info with quotes. Right, okay. So for this, what I think would be best, only because looking at the time, is I'm going to show you this really, really useful link to a video that will talk you through it. So yeah, so it does have that feature. Again, Canva doesn't miss out on anything. I've actually lost my cursor, so I have 3 screens. Ah, there I am. Okay, so it does have a brilliant feature, which is the bulk create tab. What I will check for you while I'm here is whether or not it's accessible for all types of accounts. So if I just go to design and just pick that, replace current page, because it comes under the apps. It does come under the apps. Bulk create, let me see. Let's have a look. Okay. The bulk create option isn't a default on Canva. Okay, you do have to add it as an application. So let's go and search for your bulk create, and I'm guessing this is going to give you, that's it. Okay, so you would then add that, and I'm assuming this is what you wanted, and then that allows you to kind of put your things in. So in your case, your quotes and things like that. So just do bear in mind, if you can't spot the option anywhere on the screen, it's because it is available to add as an application. Once you've used it as an application, you will see that more in your recently, when you go into the apps, you'll see it in your most recently. So you'll be able to quickly do that each time. You shouldn't have to search for it each time. But that's essentially how that works. And I realized I wasn't sharing my screen. But I'm going to go ahead and share my
Thanks,
screen now.
Mara. Any other questions for anyone? No? Are you walking us through the bulk create?
I am now.
Okay, thank you.
So let's go to any template. Let's go to apps. Okay. In the search apps, I typed in bulk create. Hit enter. God, it's not done it now. It did it when I wasn't sharing.
It was there.
And it was it there.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. So you've got no, that's bulk QR. That's something else.
Oh.
What it did do when I was there earlier with here, that's it. I was in this one, and it allowed me to add a bulk create, but it was a different app. So what I'm gonna do is, if I go to all apps, if I just type in bulk. No, it wasn't this. And this is why I just absolutely hate technology. I've just been lying to you for the past hour. It absolutely was there and it was free. So what I'm going to say to these guys, have a look at it, because literally when I wasn't sharing, it gave me a box to upload my CSV or my data and create all of these various things that I wanted to create, which then it just does it in one go, and you kind of just tweak the different numbers or the different data fields or whatever it is for the different posts, and you don't have to manually do that each time, which of course makes sense. So you upload a CSV, it will do that for you, and it did do that for me, and for some reason it's just completely disappeared now. So do please have a go. But like I said, did I put the link in? Yes, so I put a little link in there which allows you to have a look at how that works as well. I put a link in the chat. Yes, I did. So it's canva.com bulk create. Have a look at that link as well.
Okay, so I think that might be it from the Q&A section, but in case anyone thinks of any questions after the workshop, you can always email us. And this morning and yesterday, I sent out links for this meeting, so you can just email me on that email address. And also, we have a on Thursday, we have 2 workshops coming up. One of them is about social media, and another one is about websites and SEO. And then on Tuesday, we have another workshop delivered by Marika about helping organizations to go through the digital change and just preparing organizations for this digital world. So please check out our events. I put the link in a chat as well. And thank you so much, Shamimara, for such an amazing workshop. And yeah, thank you for everyone who came. And please check out our events and get in touch if you need any other support. And I think that's it from me, at least. And I will stop the recording.
Thank you very much for that.